TV9 Network, Visionaries of Viksit Bharat, in association with SAP India. This campaign is essentially built on a few pillars. We're all thinking about you, the mid-sized companies. How can these mid-sized companies of India become the large, big enterprises of this country? How can we convert the small businesses into mid-sized businesses? That's what our endeavor is with this campaign. And for that, we've identified a few important things. Digital transformation obviously goes without saying. Access to finance, policy prescription, and more importantly, succession planning, because all these homegrown businesses need to evolve and step into the future, and that cannot be done without succession planning. So these are the fundamental pillars of this campaign. And deliver the opening address, let me please bring on stage Mr. Vinod Palakil, India Leader, Partner-Driven Business, SAP India. Vinod Palakil. Round of applause for Mr. Vinod Palakil, ladies and gentlemen.
Today, this evening, we are not going to celebrate turnovers. We are not going to celebrate valuations. Right? What we are going to celebrate is the grit, the passion, the determination, the endurance of India's entrepreneurs. Because you not only build, you create a vision, you innovate, and you do all this often without spotlight, without an applause. But you continue to do this with a passion for purpose and a dream. So please give yourself a big round of applause. This evening is yours. India is at a point of inflation which is once in a generation. So under the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, India has a clear vision and ambition of Viksit Bharat by year 2047. The script of Viksit Bharat is not only written in the boardrooms of large enterprises. Our MSMEs play an important role in creating history. The story of Viksit Bharat has to be written jointly by the MSMEs along with the large enterprises. MSMEs have a huge impact. 30% of India's GDP comes from the MSMEs. And if you look at the export share, MSMEs have 47% of export share, exporting to 75 plus countries. And along with this, MSMEs are also creating jobs in your own communities. For us in SAP, India is just not a market. India is a mission for us. And this is a mission that we are driving to ensure that MSMEs are the flag bearer position in terms of Viksit Bharat and the growth that India is actually scripting. Together, we all can help India move from made for the world to designed and invented for the world. So Visionaries of Viksit Bharat is actually not just a campaign title for us. The call of action is to create the next wave of founders, next wave of innovators, who's going to take inspiration from all of you, from your journey, and from your learnings, and from your chapters that you are actually scripting. So with that, thank you for your time. Thank you for your faith in India. And thank you for proving every day that Viksit Bharat can look the way it is. Jai Hind.
It's time for the highlight of tonight, the Conclave keynote address. We have a very special man delivering that. And to give that special guest a very warm welcome, let me first invite on stage Mr. Nitish Kumar Agarwal, Chief Partner Officer, SAP Indian Subcontinent. Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Mr. Nitish Agarwal. And let me also invite Mr. Vikram K, COO of the TV9 Network, on stage. Mr. Vikram K of the TV9 Network. It is our profound honor to invite on stage the chief guest for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Shri Priyank Kharge, Minister of IT, Rural Development and Panchayat Raj, Government of Karnataka. It's time now to hear from the man of the moment, Shri Priyank Kharge. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for the Honorable Minister who has taken his precious time out to be with us. Thank you so much, sir.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here at the Visionaries of Viksit Bharat Conclave by TV9 and of course with partnership by SAP. And I think what we saw earlier in the video is a very good initiative to identify the visionaries or the future makers of India. Before I get into what Karnataka government is doing, I'd like to make a statement saying that whether it is Amritkal, Viksit Bharat, Make in India, Skill India, Digital India, whatever slogan New Delhi gives, it has to happen only in Karnataka. And as you're aware, look around you, how AI is rewriting the way we work. Quantum is redefining how we protect our nations. Biotech is reinventing how we live longer and healthier. Creative technology is reshaping how we dream and express. And more importantly, these revolutions, whether it's the orange economy, the blue economy, or the AI revolution, it is happening all around us across the country. But Bengaluru is not participating in that revolution. Bengaluru is leading in that revolution. We are number 1 globally in unicorns per capita ratio. We are number 5 in the top 50 AI cities. We are number 4 in Asia for high growth companies. All I want to say is that if we intend to be world leaders, if we intend to ensure that we provide the right ecosystem for the disruptors and the innovators, we need to ensure that we are very, very agile with our policies. And that can only happen when we work together as a team. So whether it is SAP or Rapido, or whether it is think tanks like CII or NASSCOM, we all need to come together for the bigger picture. We need to converge for policy making. We need to converge to exchange thoughts and ideas. Because I think we have it in us to build on global scale. We have it in us to build with purpose. We have it in us to build with compassion. We have it in us to build with speed. And more importantly, we have it in us to build with confidence for the world. It's just not for India, but I think India is ready to take the next big leap for the world itself. And I think this will only happen through conversations like this, like the Visionaries of Viksit Bharat by TV9 and SAP. So thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for your invitation. And most importantly, thank you so much for your attention. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
Without wasting any of your time, to felicitate some of the visionaries that we have gathered over here. And to do that, let me also invite on stage Mr. Nitish Agarwal, Chief Partner Officer, SAP Indian Subcontinent, and Editor, TV9 Network, Mr. Rahul Chaudhary on stage as well. Please. The theme for the first panel discussion for the evening is Indian businesses ready for iconic, or rather A-iconic leap. For this next panel, we have some very interesting gentlemen lined up to discuss this. Homegrown businesses, obviously, some of the visionaries of Viksit Bharat who have been felicitated already. They will be the ones taking the stage for this discussion. Let me first invite on stage the moderator for this panel discussion, Indian businesses ready for the A-iconic leap. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. R. Sridharan, Editor International of TV9 Network.
Let me start with Varun of SAP and ask him two parts of the question. Why is it that companies are struggling to scale their AI projects? And number two, do you actually see that changing now?
If you see, when we looked at last year, and in a forum like this, people would always used to boast about how many AI experiments they are doing. Hey Varun, I have 30 going on, I have 40 going on, I have 30 in finance, 40 in supply chain. Like, okay, you have so many. And today if you ask them what happened, they would say 1 made it to production, 2 made it to production, 3 made it to production. And invariably when you ask them why did it make it to production, it would be 2 factors. 1, it was either impacting the top line or the bottom line of the company. And 2, there was no massive change management involved in infusing AI into the core business process. So if you ask me as SAP, I think this is also fundamental to the way we do things, because already a system like SAP is a change for MSME, right? People have to do things on the system, everything needs to be logged and stuff like that. So we see AI as an enabler and say, how can we minimize the change management?
Walk us through how has MV Solar used technology so far, and what is the scope that you see for a cutting edge technology like AI going forward to make you globally even more competitive?
Even in China, if you see, they started in 2012 onwards, whereas we started in 1992, and solar photovoltaic models and cells has been started in 2007. So the what I continue to be adapt is the reliability, capabilities, and the trustworthy to the people of the new technologies what we bring. We are the, I want to proudly say that we are the first company who introduced the automatic tower stringers in India.
So what sort of an AI model do you think Indian enterprises, especially the ones that are here today, medium size, which are probably AI native, you know, they don't have any prior technology, deep tech, which is playing into them. What sort of AI play should they be looking at?
Our major problem is, especially for the past 12 years, the AI revolution has happened from 2012 to today where we are standing. Things happened very, very rapidly. Right? So we supplied almost significant amount of data to foreign companies. Whereas if we take Indian companies, hardly we had any such system that collects data. Right? We never used a Gmail kind of a thing. We never used a WhatsApp kind of thing, Facebook. All those things, whatever we use, they don't belong to our country.
So now, Dheeraj, I know you're in the foods industry, so one would imagine it's not like a very complex business like what Mr. Manjunath does in terms of, you know, high technology involved in making those silicon cells and modules, solar cells and modules. But how are you approaching technology, deep tech, especially AI, in your business?
See, for us, technology is not just an option, you know. It's our growth engine. Coming to AI, as a medium-sized company, in factories, we've started buying robots, AI-enabled robots. In sales, we have tool with each and every sales force which goes on the field, almost about 600 odd people. Having AI-enabled app, we also, you know, put in all these historical datas, you know, into the AI, you know, and getting lot of information, lot of data points with which we build the strategies for going forward.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're completely out of time. I want to thank each one of my panelists for their excellent views and life stories, which they are actually talking from experience and what they're doing in their own company. So a big round of applause for all the panelists, please.
Let's get set for the next interesting fireside chat. And this conversation is going to be themed on bricks and bytes pave way for a Viksit Bharat. And for this next panel too, our moderator is going to be none other than our very own editor international of TV9 Network, Mr. R. Sridharan. Shri, requesting you to please take the stage again.
Satish, I'm going to start with you. You've been on a very long Make in India journey. How has the government's policy or the environment, the overall economic environment, helped you make the push into defense manufacturing, which is totally high-tech?
Various governments, despite the political inclinations, have worked towards the progress of India. So I cannot name a specific a policy per se, but liberalization was one of the biggest initiatives that we took that happened way back in 90s. And after that, I think the growth of India has been unstoppable to a large extent.
Now, Pawan, coming to you, you started by picking up a very big, hairy problem that all of us in Bangalore deal with, which is that of mobility and transport, and you solved it beautifully. So tell us, how did you use technology to become that sort of a company which is solving a very complex problem and doing it so successfully?
Coming to the problem statement that we are solving, that especially Rapido is solving, from the outlook, it looks like we are solving a mobility problem. But if you guys, if every one of us step back and see, Rapido is actually solving a more core Indian problem. It is solving the problem of jobs. It is solving the problem of filling infrastructure gaps. And I am talking in the remotest parts of the country. It is much easier to build a mobility platform. What do? You just hire 10, 20 vehicles, get some people to run for you, and maybe you have a mobility, you build an app, the mobility platform is there. But Rapido started with this intent of enabling and giving an opportunity to everybody who has a bike and an intent to earn money. India is the largest manufacturer, largest home, largest exporter of two-wheelers in the entire world.
More power to both of you, and thank you for making this evening, enriching and sharing your thoughts and inspiring a lot of people out there, I'm sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give these gentlemen a big round of applause, please.
Moving on to the last conversation for the day, and that is about our very own homegrown businesses, our homegrown family-run businesses and their next stage of evolution and growth. And it will be yours truly who will be moderating this next conversation. Tell us, Mr. Doriarajan, when it comes to family-run businesses, so many listed companies in this country are family-run, family-owned or family-founded businesses. And when they have to make that transition into a professionally run governance structure, tell us, how are they doing it without using the core DNA, their own unique DNA of that founder-led company? How are they doing it? What are the challenges that they are facing in your experience of having consulted with companies?
Generally, in family-run businesses, the one I have seen being as a consultant is that there is a DNA in them that we would like to be part of that legacy that we have. But to a large extent, it gets lost because the next generation of children do not want to take it up because they don't see money in that. And they have seen their fathers struggle and they don't want to go through that. Even if they go through that, the third generation definitely doesn't want to. Also, the problem is there is no storytelling. People don't tell them how important it is to get into business. That is missing. Because of the DNA part of it, the values have to be imbibed into them at the very beginning. Otherwise, it becomes extremely difficult for them to be part of it. So the best thing would be to have a professional. But when you have a professional, you have a family which runs it, which has been running it for a long time. They do not want to give the authority so easily.
Mr. Shankar Ram, let me come to you, and then I'll take it to Mr. V.T. Chandrasekharan as well. The question here is that how do you do it? You're a company which had three partners. How is it different from the traditional single person, single family owned family business and the way it worked for you, and how has decision making been influenced because of that unique structure that you have?
Thing is, we've been having about 2-3 different companies with us, and each one concentrates in one of the companies. Okay, so that way we've been quite lucky that we don't interfere too much on each other's business. But we definitely share what we can do together. And that conversation takes place on and off. Before we go any further, what has been your experience when it comes to getting that professional management and ensuring that they are able to take decisions?
See, professionalism should be the first word to be adopted in a company. Unless and otherwise, you have as an entrepreneur, that's only something which you can do, and you depend on people around you to run your organization. So unless and otherwise you professionalize right from the beginning, it would be difficult to scale up. So the most important thing for anyone, for any company to be successful is to professionalize.
Mr. Naran, tell us, Mr. Sampath spoke about his experience of, while consulting. And I want to know, when it comes to Deloitte and in your Deloitte's experience of consulting with companies in that country, companies looking to diversify, companies looking to take their organization to the next stage of evolution. What has been your experience? What have been the challenges for them?
When it comes to diversification, see, what we have seen is, if you look at, we are in Gen 3.0, and I think why I say that is because the promoters used to own the company in Gen 1.0. In 2.0, they built some structure to it, they scaled it to a particular area, domain, expertise as such. But 3.0 is where they are now partnering globally, and technology is actually taking it further in order for them to actually reach outside of the country, for that matter, the domain. And that's where the question of diversification becomes very important. There are a few important things when you look at diversification. One of them I would say is when you're looking at diversification, do not leave your core. Core becomes very important, and that's where core versus non-core should be defined very clearly. The KPIs then become very important, and I think one thumb rule says, and I'm sure sir would know better than me, but do not invest more than 10 to 12% of your net worth into a new business. And that's where you need to hedge the risk. And that's where basically diversification then becomes important. And then comes the outcome, what we are trying to achieve. And that is what basically we all strive for, to get the output back to us. So this is how Deloitte would look at probably sitting down with you, a very simple question which would come from a promoter. I'm a 200 crore rupees company. I want to become a 2,500 crore rupees company tomorrow with an IPO. How fast can you help me and how can you do that? That's where we basically get the framework going.
Huge round of applause for the panelists for that wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, all of you. For the vote of thanks, let me please invite on stage Mr. Anshul Gupta, Director of Marketing, Corporate, SAP India, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh.
It's been an honor, true honor, to host August gathering of policy makers, industry leaders, entrepreneurs, and business owners. Today we heard some stories of grit and gumption, stories of transformation, perspectives, and on opportunities and challenges that lie ahead for SMEs as we march ahead to Viksit Bharat mission. Well, it is estimated that SMEs must contribute close to about $8.6 trillion worth to the overall economic ecosystem, right, for country. Now, if we have to realize this mission, it is very critical for companies like us sitting in this room to, take the game to next level. And all of us would agree that next wave of growth will come when these small businesses become medium-sized and mid-sized businesses become large enterprises, right? We at SAP are totally committed to this vision, to this cause, and are here with you by your side as partners in your transformation journey. On behalf of SAP, I would like to thank Honorable Minister who was here, Shri Priyank Kharge. I would like to thank all our speakers and panelists for sharing their insights, through the day. Some very interesting panel discussions that we had today. And our transformation partner, Deloitte, who were there, who made this event possible. And of course, TV9 Network for hosting this wonderful evening together.
Thank you, Anshul, for that. And of course, with that, we've come to the end of the evening, the end of the Bengaluru edition of Visionaries of Viksit Bharat, the TV9 Network, Visionaries of Viksit Bharat, in association with SAP Transformation Partner, Deloitte. Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience. A huge round of applause for all of you who've taken time out and been with us through the evening.
SAP is playing a very important role. We are invested in India. We recently announced our SAP Innovation Park here in Bangalore with a capacity of 15,000. We are heavily invested in skilling to get the new talent in India, which can be serving the global requirement of AI. In the last 30 plus years of our existence in India, we have been fortunate to transform more than 15,000 organizations of different sizes. 80% of these organizations are actually SMEs. So in a way, we have been a part of the growth story of India, and we feel very proud to have contributed to the digital transformation of India.
I think the Indian opportunity is great, and sleep as a segment has got a huge scope in this country and something very exciting. And the best part of it is we think the opportunity is going to be very good, and with the population out here, very exciting times to come.
I think it's been an amazing experience being here and being part of the vision of Viksit Bharat, right? I think so many innovation and visionary leaders that are part of this. And to everyone who's actually dreaming and wanting to do big, I think now is the time. I think India's on the biggest pedestal out there today. I think go chase your dreams, make your dreams come true, and make India the greatest that it has ever been today.
It's my pleasure to be part of this Viksit Bharat. Make in India is actually not a slogan. For us, it's in our DNA. We produce world-class products in our country, India, with our, Indian raw materials made from our Indian farmers in our Indian soil. And today we take these to over 42 countries. Things produced in India, not just for India, for the world. Message to young entrepreneurs, don't go abroad. You have a lot of things to do in India. India is growing massively.
Well, we are absolutely on the highway as a country. We are on the robust highway to make everything possible. Right now, the way we are as a country moving and the way our economy is doing, the way our government is coming up with initiatives to make businesses easier by the day, I think there's nothing that is impossible.
Honestly, it's a great privilege for us to get this recognition. 10 years ago, we have started this journey to create a category, an industry in this country that did not exist. And to be recognized in the state that we have been operating for the past 10 years, in the state of Karnataka, it gives us immense pleasure. Right now, starting a startup is going to be one of the foundations for Viksit Bharat, for our nation to turn into a developed nation. So I would say start out early, take risks. I think the future is bright.
It's nice to have in one platform such great entrepreneurs in one stage and coming from different sectors. Something like from mattresses all the way to guns to tech companies. So it's nice to meet all these people, and obviously as a country we have a vision to grow set by our government, and also geopolitically where we are as a nation. We are strategically positioned to be, in my opinion, one of the greatest nations that will be there for the next 100 years.
In Viksit Bharat, I think healthcare needs about 3 to 4 things that has to be taken care in healthcare. One is the infrastructure. India has to really gear up for infrastructure upgrade. Then comes the human resources in healthcare, the doctors, the nurses, the technologists, and so on and so forth. So I think India is gearing up. We are already at about 125,000 MBBS graduates every year, and India is planning to go up to 200,000. So then comes what is called as the digital health. That is where I think conclaves like this of very important.